Hi, I'm August Keller, and this is my review of One Battle After Another. So, this movie is a statement. It fearlessly addresses hot button political issues, but also maintains a very intimate heart, which I think both of these things really reinforce each other. The political statements mean more because they're connected to this personal, immediate stakes, makes the political stuff seem much more real, more tangible. And this is because it's built around a father-daughter relationship, and these two characters, they have very clear flaws and also very clear motivations, and those two things clash a lot, so they both have these clear internal conflicts, which is always great. That's always something that can drive the drama. There's surprisingly a lot of comedy, which ranges from dark, absurd satire to playful slapstick, which sounds like it shouldn't work, but actually really kind of comes together well, and becomes like this singular tone. The cast of characters all really contrast each other, so that really accentuates each other. The acting is excellent across the board. And that really anchors the mood. You know, it would be easy for this movie to be kind of a mess, a tonal mess, but I think the acting goes a long way. Across all the characters, there's intensity, range, layers, vulnerability, mannerisms, a lot of personality. And I really do want to shout out the mannerisms. Sean Penn, he has this like physicality, like this tension in all of his movements that really is kind of like a physical manifestation of all of his layers, a lot of his internal conflicts, a lot of his like cognitive dissonance. And then there's a lot of release at the end that feels very cathartic, and very real. So yeah, that really helps this movie a lot. I mean, there's a lot to like about this movie, but I think that's a real like tonal linchpin. There's setup and payoff. There's a very proactive plot. Like the plot keeps moving. There's always something pushing the story forward, and there's a lot of moral complexity. I think the movie definitely takes a stance on the political issues, but also shows characters as shades of gray. Even the most despicable characters, there's some parts of them where you can see there was like once some humanity there, maybe not all of them, but some of them, I would say. And that all together, that drives home these themes about power and hate and love. And I know those themes might sound cliche, but they're so like universal. And the way that they tie all in together with this political stuff and this personal drama, it works really well and really kind of hits the nail on the head. So yeah, all that is to say that One Battle After Another is important. It's a very important story, and I think that's why everyone's so excited about it, is because it feels like not just an interesting, fun movie to watch, but it's something that feels like people should watch, people need to watch. Technically, One Battle After Another delivers a very dense yet lively experience. I kept finding myself thinking like, wow, there's so much to this movie. There's so much like story happening, and yet it feels really easy to watch. It's not tiresome at all, and it's crazy how it keeps moving, and it's continually exciting. I think the direction very efficiently blends a lot of genres as well as tones. Like I said, the tones, it's like comedy and tragedy, and it's big and it's small, and yeah, the genres go from like thriller to drama, and it's just kind of all over the place, and somehow it all sticks together, and it feels like this one unique thing. The cinematography has a lot of motivated movement, a lot of long takes. There's like natural lighting, a lot of careful framing. Like I noticed they really saved their close-ups for only a few of them, which make them more impactful. And there's a lot of depth too, like uses of focus or like something in the foreground and the background that make the shot more like meaningful. So yeah, the imagery is very engaging. The sound design has a lot of visceral action. At the end, there's this chase scene where three cars are like chasing each other, and each engine sounds a little different. And I think, you know, the sound design will focus on one or the other, and I feel like that really ramps up the tension. It's a very like specific choice, but it really made a big difference. And there's a lot of emotional voiceovers and split cuts. I also want to shout out there was like this like tracking device that has like this like kind of musical sound to it that is kind of a motif throughout. The editing does a lot of heavy lifting here. Like I said, the movie has this constant momentum. It kind of starts off energetic and never really lets up. But there are like there is this balanced pacing where there are these moments of where it slows down a little bit here and there, just enough. I think it does it perfectly, where it's like always fast, always moving, but it has these moments of drama too, so it never feels exhausting. And it's because it has like this continuous structure to it. Like I wouldn't even say it's like a 3-act structure. I wouldn't even say there's necessarily scenes. It kind of reminds me of Oppenheimer in this way, where it's almost like the movie is like just one huge like montage, which is not a slight. I mean, sometimes that can be a bad thing, but this movie, it felt like just like this one cohesive whole. And yeah, the editing was really interesting. There are act breaks, but a lot of the time it feels like it's just constant. It's like almost it breaks down the sense of scenes and just kind of feels like this one big thing. Yeah. Anyways, also a big contributor to the mood is the music. That really unifies the mood a lot. It has like these eclectic needle drops, and also this offbeat percussive score. And that score is very interesting to me. It's like constantly, it feels very flexible. Like one moment it sounds goofy and silly, and the next moment it sounds very tense. And it's the same music, but it's just like recontextualized with what's going on the screen. It's very like flexible, like I'm saying. The production design is very contemporary yet characterized. I see a lot of people already dressing up like Leo's character. You know, it's a recognizable character look. You know, it's like American Southwest. The ending sequence is on these roads where they're like windy and up and down, and that really feels like a character in the movie. The cast has like great fame, great depth, a lot of great fit, and great representation too. All of those things are very important to this movie. The effects have a lot of pyrotechnics, a lot of stunts, and a few prosthetics as well. So yeah, overall, one battle after another harnesses the medium of film. It's just, this is what film is for movies like these. I think it's saying a lot. It's saying it well. It's using every aspect of filmmaking to say what it's trying to say in an engaging way, but in a very firm and like meaningful way, I guess. So yeah, it's definitely one of the best movies of the year. Definitely one of my favorites of Paul Thomas Anderson. I wouldn't say necessarily number one on either of those fronts, but it's close, and it's in the discussion. And if someone were to say that about either of those things, I don't think it's a ridiculous thing to say. So yeah, it's definitely a movie to watch. If you like what I like, then I would definitely recommend this. This is definitely one of the going to be in my top 10 of the year for sure, probably even top 5. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. If you like what I'm doing here, please feel free to like and subscribe. I also have a Instagram linked in the description. I'd love support there or here. Whatever you can do, I appreciate. But at the very least, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay. Thanks. Bye.